one of the greatest fighters who ever lived, the great George Foreman.
George Foreman is a former professional boxer who is widely regarded as one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. He is a two-time heavyweight champion and Olympic gold medalist. However, his journey to success was not without its challenges. We will explore George Foreman's life and his journey to becoming a boxing legend. Make sure to subscribe to the channel as we look into the life of Big George Foreman. George Edward Foreman was born in Marshall, Texas on January 10, 1949. He grew up in poverty and had a troubled childhood. His father was an alcoholic who abandoned the family when George was just 2 years old. He was raised by his mother and grandmother in a tough neighborhood in Houston, Texas. Foreman dropped out of school at the age of 15 and turned to a life of crime. He began boxing in his late teens at the Job Corps in Oregon. He quickly established himself as a talented boxer and won the gold medal at the 1968 Olympics in Mexico City, which was only his 25th amateur fight. After his Olympic victory in 1969, Foreman turned professional, and within 2 years, Foreman was ranked the #1 challenger by the WBA and the WBC. By 1972, Foreman had a perfect 37-0 record, which included 35 knockouts. In 1973, Foreman challenged heavyweight champion Joe Frazier for the title. The fight was billed as the Sunshine Showdown.
Were you ever scared of anybody in the ring? Now be honest. Ali? I mean,
it's strange. I wasn't afraid of Muhammad. I lost the title to Muhammad, but I remember Joe Frazier. He was the toughest guy I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
Smoking Joe Frazier.
Although Frazier was the favorite going into the bout, Foreman knocked him down 6 times in 2 rounds and won the fight by technical knockout.
Dundee, Ali's trainer right next to me is saying it. You may hear him. Down goes Frazier! Down goes Frazier!
Foreman's victory over Frazier made him the heavyweight champion of the world at the age of 24. An unprecedented TV audience watched Foreman become the champ because the fight was HBO Boxing's first ever broadcast. Foreman successfully defended his title against a number of opponents, including Ken Norton and Jose Roman. He beat Puerto Rican heavyweight champion Jose Roman in only 50 seconds, which at the time was the shortest heavyweight championship match ever.
The ropes, Foreman swinging wildly and missing, but final knockdown takes place.
However, his most famous fight was against Muhammad Ali in 1974. The fight was billed as the Rumble in the Jungle and took place in Kinshasa, Zaire, which is now the Democratic Republic of the Congo.
Here we go, Ali quickly across the round.
Foreman was heavily favored to win the fight, but Ali used his famous rope-a-dope strategy to tire Foreman out and eventually knock him out in the 8th round.
Right hand. This time he worked over the shoulder of Foreman.
Then in Puerto Rico, on March 17, 1977, Foreman lost in a decision to Jimmy Young. It was in his dressing room after the fight that Foreman had a religious experience that changed his life forever. Foreman gave up boxing and became a born-again Christian. He was ordained a minister in 1978 and began preaching in his hometown of Houston, Texas. In 1984, he founded the George Foreman Youth and Community Center, a non-denominational place for kids who needed direction like he once did. However, by the mid-1980s, Foreman was running out of money, and people around him were advising him to close the Youth and Community Center. Foreman saw how much the center was helping people, so he was determined to do what was necessary to keep it open. So in 1987, after not fighting for almost 10 years to the day, Foreman returned to the ring. What a noble decision it was. Foreman won 24 consecutive fights during his comeback, including 22 by knockout. Now, at age 42, Foreman's success and popularity earned him a chance at the title against unbeaten Evander Holyfield. The fight went the full 12 rounds, and while Holyfield won in the decision, Foreman gained a great deal of credibility. After more than a year out of the ring, on November 5, 1994, Foreman took on the new champ, Michael Moorer, and knocked him out in the 10th round.
Michael Moorer needs to go back to working. That's it! It's a short right hand! There is no way he's getting up from that!
With the victory at the age of 45, Foreman became the oldest fighter to ever win the heavyweight crown, as well as the boxer with the most time between one world championship and the next. Foreman gave away his titles in 1995 after defending them against Axel Schultz and refusing a rematch. Foreman ultimately retired in 1997 after compiling an amazing 76-5 career record. George Foreman's boxing career was impressive, but it was not without controversy. He was criticized for his aggressive fighting style and his public comments about race and politics. However, he remains one of the most beloved and respected boxers of all time. Foreman is also known for his successful business ventures. He has appeared in commercials for various products, including the George Foreman Grill. He has also written several books, including his autobiography, By George, The Autobiography of George Foreman. Foreman had used his success and fame to give back to his community. He has founded several youth centers and charities, including the George Foreman Youth and Community Center in Houston, Texas. He has also been an advocate for children's health and has worked with the Children's Miracle Network and the American Red Cross. George Foreman's journey to boxing success was a difficult one. He overcame a troubled childhood and a life of crime to become one of the greatest boxers of all time. His career was marked by impressive victories, controversial comments, and a successful business career. However, his legacy extends beyond the ring. He has used his fame and success to give back to his community and to advocate for children's health. George Foreman is a true boxing legend and an inspiration to us all. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and stay up to date with the latest boxing news and fights. See you next time.